Welcome, everybody, to the Mullins Over Music podcast. It's episode 95 with my friend and the vocalist of Lost in Separation, Milad Parsa. Man, this is such a good one. We talk about their newest record. We talk about him and his musical journey. You know what we talk about, but if you're a fan of the song Ember, you're definitely going to want to watch this one. Check it out. Welcome, everybody, to the Mullins Over Music podcast. I'm your host, at least until the aliens come and take us over, because, we're not doing so hot. They might as well. I'm here with a special guest. I'm going to let him introduce himself to you. Go ahead, my friend.
What's up, guys? It's Milad from Lost in Separation here.
Glad to have you, my friend.
Glad to be here.
So, as I've told you, and as the people who watch this know, we have two very important questions to start off the podcast. And the first one is the fun fact question, because when you were in school, you had to do it at the beginning of every school year with a new class. It's ingrained into our ways now. So, give me one fun fact about yourself.
One fun fact about me, I am a huge nerd, and I collect things from across all of my various nerdy hyperfixations. So I have a very large Lego collection. I have a very large action figure collection, anime figures, Star Wars, all of that kind of stuff. So if I like something, I will collect things from that thing, if that makes sense. So yeah, but my Lego collection especially is gigantic.
I love that, man. I love Legos even to this day. I don't collect them as much because our Lego store is at a mall, and I don't really want to go to that mall very often.
Right.
So I'm like, I'll go next time. I got some really nice kits. I'll shoot you some photos.
Sure.
But Legos always great. Hey, that new Lego Batman game came out, by the way.
Yeah, I heard it's really good too.
It looks good. It's like Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Well, I have a second question. It is the second most important question of this entire podcast. And that's the fun question. It is, if you had to give a TED Talk on something you know way too much about, what would the topic be?
I would give a TED Talk on basically everything that is wrong with the Jurassic Park movies, as amazing as they are, as much as I love them. I would talk about, based on modern understandings of these dinosaurs and their anatomies and the science, what we know now that makes those movies inaccurate. And then what also just makes those movies inaccurate that were just creative liberties they took, even against what was already known about the current sciences, like the Dilophosaurus having frills, or the Velociraptors being 3-4 times as big as they should have been, things like that. I would give a TED Talk on basically just everything that's wrong with the Jurassic Park movies, based on science and just Hollywood liberties and things like that.
That sounds awesome. I would sit there and listen to you go on and on about it.
Appreciate that.
Because there is a lot. Did you see the newest one?
Yeah, I did. It was all right.
See, I haven't seen it yet. I mean, I like Scarlett Johansson, so any movie she's in, I'll probably go see. But that movie, I went and saw How to Train Your Dragon over that, the live action remake.
I didn't see that one.
It's okay.
Fair enough.
It's for kids, so I understand. But it was at a drive-in theater, and the projector kept going down every 5 minutes.
I see.
It probably ruined my enjoyment of the film a little bit.
Sure.
Well, let's get on into some music questions, because
let's do it.
I know you got some answers for me. I want to start off with my favorite question. Just right off the bat. I already told it to you earlier, but what is your favorite song you guys have written and why? And your least favorite?
I have a pretty definitive favorite and several top songs, but I would say my favorite song we've ever done is Ember. And you look at our Spotify or whatever, like that's clearly like our biggest song that has like the most traction, the most streams building up. Um, it isn't our highest stream song, but it will very quickly surpass our highest stream song.
It is a good one.
Um, I love it because it is like very raw, very emotional. I'm talking about like a very, very, very difficult time in my life, dealing with kind of two different things at once. Simultaneously dealing with a breakup and then also like quitting my day job to pursue music full time. So very, very, very difficult, tumultuous time in my life. All the lyrics are about like, there's some that stand out to me, but like the biggest one is like, I drink my nights away, our home's just a place, um,
That's a good one.
things that gave me chills just writing them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, and then from an actual writing and creative perspective, it is probably the most I have poured into a song ever. Not even just in terms of like lyrics and melodies, but also like shaping the song and its structure and the progression and things like that. So like, um, you know, we've been a band for a very long time. A lot of different people have written songs as members, as producers. That is the one that I feel more than any other like was my baby and my vision. So it's just really a really special song to me.
Okay.
And then least favorite is kind of hard to say. Every release has songs that I love. Every release has songs that like I wish had like, been a little better or recorded a little bit better, or like I can hear that I was sick when I recorded that line and went back and like had to redo it, but I couldn't quite get it right. There's all these like little reasons to like nitpick and like not like songs. And I think the most important thing is like, you should always be able to look back on old stuff and think, well, like what did I do to get better? And what would I do differently now? And that's part of like growth and the creative process as an artist. So like you don't want to look back on old shit and think like, oh, it's perfect and doesn't need changing. But I think it's okay to think that the moment it's dropping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Sister Moon, I often joke I really don't like that album. I don't intend to go back and play songs off of that album anytime soon or for any particular reason. But when we were dropping it, I'm like, oh, this is like some of the sickest metalcore I've ever heard, and I'm super proud to be part of this. And I think that's a really I might hate on it too hard, and a lot of fans really love it. And so like I know that there's a time and a place and a special moment for those songs. At the time, I absolutely loved them. And now I'm like, there's so much I would do differently. But least favorite song. One that I think is just like totally, totally, totally buns that I was really excited about at the time was one of the deluxe songs from Sister Moon, Bury Me.
Yeah.
It was really our first honest attempt at like a pop structured song that's mostly singing. And so weirdly enough, its blueprint, its DNA lives in a lot of the new record. But those are just much better songs. But I just think that song, like everything, I was trying so much, and so much was so new, and I'd always been a guy who screamed, who could sing or did some singing, and then my voice has really strengthened and developed over time. And I don't really know. I think I was going, I had not found my voice yet at that time, and I really tried, I think, to be someone I wasn't on that song, if that makes sense. I'm doing like all these like Johnny Craig belts and runs, and like that's just not me. And granted, I do some runs and all that kind of stuff, but tastefully, like when and how I can, and I don't know. It's not even a bad song. It's just like if someone like was like, "Hey, I checked out your song, Bury Me," I'm like, "Ew, why?" Like, go listen to the new shit. That's so much better.
I do have to agree. The new stuff is definitely better. It's a great song, but I can
Hmm.
I can totally see why you're like, yeah, I was just trying new things. And whenever you try new things, I mean, whether it be with music, uh, really any sort of medium,
Yeah,
it's a little bit on the I don't want to say scary, but kind of is a little bit scary. So you're timid to try these things full out.
yeah.
Sometimes you have to get your sense of your land legs for those types of changes.
Yeah, I mean, outside of a few layers and a few demos, like Sister Moon was my first time like ever properly singing on a release. And I had only ever recorded a couple of demos and a 5-song EP before that. So like I barely even had any experience recording and tracking vocals. So like, you know, there's a lot of layers to it. But at the end of the day, um, I'm still proud of the work then. Just would do it a lot differently now, you know?
Oh yeah. If you could go back and redo that song, would you redo it, and how would you if you would?
I would probably redo. Um, we've always kind of dreamt and talked about. It's not going to happen, by the
Yeah.
way. So to the fans watching, but going back and redoing some of our favorites, or maybe even just the whole record, Sister Moon, maybe dropping all of it down into like F sharp from A sharp. So like a lower tuning, so everything's sung in more of like my natural timbre and key. Because again, like I
It
didn't
does
even
push it.
know for a long time that I was singing outside of my register because I can hit the notes, but they don't sound good. And it's not my natural voice position. So it's like, I'm like, it makes basically made everything whinier and more inaccurate
Yeah.
because I'm singing outside of my natural register. And so I would have dropped essentially by dropping everything down um, off rip, everything would then be in my natural register or at least closer to it. Um, So yeah, that's like the off rip the very first thing I would do. And then for a lot of songs where there's just overload of like layers and vocals, like I think I would let like more parts breathe and allow more parts to be instrumental or at least take the focus away from the vocals. But then at the same time, that was just such a guitar driven and forward album that there are way too many moments where like the vocals aren't the driving force where they probably should be, especially on like hooks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But again, that's like kind of like what you live and you learn. We started off wanting to be a really progressive, genty band, and granted, I think those things will always live in our DNA. But we really, really, really want to be a vocally driven, catchy band, and not that like we'd want to rip off any bands, but we want to be held in the same conversation as a lot of other bands. And ironically, like Spirit Box being one of them, started off much more like we did, and then has kind of evolved into the band that they are now,
Yeah.
where it's like very much the Courtney show. Not that no one else is not doing incredible work, but you know what I mean?
I feel like this is this may be a controversial statement, but a lot of Spirit Box's music, and this is no diss to them at all. In fact,
Hmm.
it's great. Is sort of in service to her vocals,
Oh yeah,
or in service to her vocals and the guitar. Like the drums are never like overbearing in a way
no,
that you're like, in a way, Mike Portnoy for Dream Theater is kind of it's very show offy, it's very flashy.
yeah,
It has its parts, and sometimes it's like the song is in service of the drums as opposed to the drums in
sure.
service of the song. So I feel like the guitar and drums and bass really serve her vocals really well, and that's why
Hmm.
they're blowing up the way they are.
It's why they're blowing up, and the thing is all of those musicians like are on the level that like they could be the star of the show of any project they're in, and that's kind of like the point is like they're all like supplementing her star power.
Yeah.
And that's what makes them so sick because there's not a single thing they're doing that's um like trendy or but it's creating trends. But there's
Yeah.
nothing they're doing that's like cashing in on a trend or like mainstream or boring. Like it's all super locked and groovy and technical, but none of it outshines her, and that's what I think makes them so special. You listen to their old shit, and I love every release of theirs.
Yes.
From literally, I'm a day one fan. I listen to I Wrestle a Bear Once. I'm a day like -1 fan.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
love that band, and they were doing all kinds of weird shit back in the day. Um, and still, she had this like beautiful dark voice, but um, like that was one of my favorite bands then. It's one of my favorite bands now, but I don't see or I didn't see that band blowing up and becoming the band they are now because now they've kind of like shifted the formulas over and you know, still writing some incredible shit, but it's just very different now.
Especially when you do a part one, two, and three of a
Right.
any successful band, not well, I won't say any. Slipknot did Vermilion Part 1 and 2.
Sure.
But, a
We've
lot
done a
of
part one and two song as well.
yeah, a lot of bands as they get bigger start to do less and less like, oh, this is a part 1, part 2 song, two different songs that are part 1, part 2. It becomes because I personally like to listen to Mara Effect 1, 2 and 3 in a row. And when it's on a playlist and the playlist is shuffled, and I start with Mara Part 2 just randomly, I go, no, this isn't right.
Ain't right. It ain't right.
And I love Part 1, 2, and 3 songs. I mean,
Same.
Nightwish, I don't listen to them very often, but when I do, I have to listen to their songs in order because it feels like the whole record is a part 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's all motifs and stuff, very,
Right.
very almost classical in
Yeah.
structure.
We did a lot more of that kind of stuff too back then, where like if you really listen to Sister Moon, like you'll hear melodies that was like it's a guitar riff in one song, it's a piano part in another. Like we tried to like keep that motif alive. We tried to like reference lyrics to other songs, and I'll still do that on occasion in like newer material too. But yeah, back then we really focused more on everything being like one cohesive block of like time, and now it's a little more separated into just writing songs, and we're more focused on like singles and songs rather than like projects and EPs and albums and things like that.
Yeah.
Still writing like lengthy amounts of material, but um not tying it in together so much more so kind of like everything having its own identity, if that makes sense.
Yeah. If I were to compare it to a recent record that also came out, it's like with Periphery having P1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then them coming out with Pale White Dot or like the Icarus EP. It's
Right.
just
Right.
you have your like, for lack of a better word, concept records where it's very much a flow, and then you have your
Yeah.
records that are still like they work together cohesively, but it's not like, oh, with I always think I have to listen to Periphery 4 in order all the way through. Whereas like
Right.
the newer record or with the new Lost in Separation record, I don't necessarily have to listen to it in a specific order. Although I'm not gonna lie,
No,
I
you
love
don't.
doing that.
You do what?
I love doing that. Just listening
Oh
to a whole
yeah.
record front to back. It
And
gets
there
me
was
every
there
time.
was intentionality in the way that it was ordered,
Yeah.
but like the songs could still technically go in a different order too at the end of the day, and like it wouldn't hurt anything. But yeah, then you listen to Sabretooth, the record we dropped before that. If you start at the beginning, press play, and go to the end, it never stops.
Yeah.
Every single song transitions directly from one to the other. So like you could never shuffle that record. Like it is intended to go from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
To the point where like there are moments where like you don't even know the song ended and another one started because of how quick that transition was versus other ones long dramatic pauses, but there's still so much going on. Definitely one of those like motify moments too, where it's like there's just stuff happening that comes back later in different ways. But yeah, so like we've done everything. We've done it to where like our new record could in theory be shuffled. Our previous one absolutely could not.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I do have a couple questions about the new record. My first
Hmm.
question is, and I'm always interested to hear people's thoughts on this. What made you guys decide Black Mirror as the opener to the record?
Um, there's something like about just kind of like putting your imagination cap on and like imagining like the lights going black at a show and then everyone in the crowd like cheering and screaming. You
Yeah,
usually hear like a long production build up. Maybe the members walk on stage or something, but there's just something about that song where it's just like you just imagine the room go black and it just starts with just a second of my vocals and then the instrumentation kicks in.
yeah,
That always felt like that was like the moment everything began. And also was the first single we dropped from the record, and also I think it was the first one we recorded too, if I'm not mistaken. But I think that just the way that it starts, just the "Was I wrong?" Ba, 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 ba,
Yeah.
is just so cool and just feels like the where it begins, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, and then also like it has a really heavy technical breakdown, but still like a very smooth and catchy chorus. So yeah, I don't know. It just it's not even just the first song on the record. It's like the first song in our set right now at least.
Yeah.
Although I think we're changing it for the next tour.
Okay. Now, was there another song that was a contender for first, if you will, first place on the track listing?
Um, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
It was never really.
Because I can't really see anything else being the first track on the
Yeah,
record.
yeah. Now there's another track that'll probably be the first song we play live on the next tour, but
Okay.
that still wouldn't be like the album opener by any means.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just a different way to present the set because, I mean, like you obviously know, a set is very much based around all your music and not
Hmm.
usually based around one record by itself, unless either A, you have one record, or B, you're doing
Tour of that
a
record.
current Bring Me the Horizons with Count Your Blessings in Full, or
Right.
He is Legend doing their album in full last year, or
Hmm.
any of those full play records that people like to do.
Hmm.
Speaking of which, yeah, when you said, um, what was I gonna say? When you said that you were gonna do Sister Moon, if you would go back and redo it, do it in 2038 for your 20th anniversary of the record.
Yeah, no one cares by then, I think, but but we'll see.
You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, Bring Me the Horizon clearly thought that they weren't going to have much of a big deal with Count Your Blessings because they were supposed to put out a new record this year,
And I
which is
think I'm
crazy.
ready for a new Brimmy record. I fucking love that band, but I'm a little even more hyped on Count Your Blessings than even like a new record at this point. So
I'm ready to hear the updated production and Ollie's. I won't say fixed vocals because that sounds like I'm trashing his old vocals when I'm not. It's more of his
no, but I mean he was screaming wrong back then, so you
yeah.
know.
I mean, there's a reason he did that, the hurting his vocal cords and had to rest forever.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I got just a couple more questions about the record, and then I've got some more fun questions to ask you.
sure.
Now, this is a technically a sequel to the first question. What
Okay.
made you decide that Higher was going to be the last song on the record?
I think because it is just a complete vibe shift. It is like it is a 3/4 ballad. It is very chill. It's very soft. I wouldn't even call like the chug part a breakdown. It's still like very much
No,
so
it's
just
like
kind of
a
like
riffy, not really
yeah.
breakdowny.
It's just such a chill song, but it has that like nice long like outro that kind of fades out. Um, honestly, I would have rather had Self Control be the outro song because I think the way that one ends is so cool too. You do like the broken down chorus and it goes from like um the chorus is big on that song, like really powerful driving chords and drums, and then the last time you play it, it's like the reggaeton beat, the boop,
Yeah.
very chill, very soft, strip down everything. I'm singing quiet and pretty. Um, if you ask me, it was a really tough call, but like there were a lot of moments where I was actually leaning self control in the last song.
That's
But
what I would
yeah,
have went. But
yeah,
I think in the end it did turn out the way it should have. But
hmm
if I were to pick, I probably would have put Self Control last too. And Higher is a vibe shift, so I'm weird about vibe shifts. I'm like, we gotta bring it down in the middle, and I'm like, sometimes you need to just, flow it off at the end, make it feel
Well,
like a vibe.
you know, it would be a very different song for us,
Oh, I can't
metalcore.
hear you. No, you're breaking up. Hold on. Let me see if I can. And then ask you to unmute. There we go. Let me see. Nah. I don't know what's going on. Zoom did this like a month ago. Say that again. I mean, I guess saying it again wouldn't do anything. Hold on, let me pause this. Okay,
So
as
yeah,
you were
like so I know we got cut off there for a second, but I think what I was saying is that like um higher is like the most vibe shift on the record, and the thought process is like it's shifting the vibe down. So there's like two things. There's a thing you don't want to happen, and there's a thing that you want to happen, and you don't want to like have people listening and then like lose them because the vibe shifts too hard. And it's a very like non-metalcore song, and we're a quite heavy band at times, so like it didn't feel like it needed to go in the middle of the album to like mess up the momentum or anything, or like anything like that. So putting it at the end kind of like signals like this is the moment where it's ending. And it's also like a message that we've never really done on a song before. And so it did feel really fitting to bring it at the end, because you listen to the record and you're talking about breakups, you're talking about losing friendship, you're talking about like mental health, you're talking about like struggling with inability to sleep, you're talking about so many different things. And then the very very last song it's like I'm writing myself in the future a letter to basically just say that like, hey, like thank you for getting through right now and getting through everything that we're going through now and everything we're going to go through on the way to get where we want to be. Like, I don't know where this path is going to take me, but I know where it ends up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so it's literally just like, as like corny as it sounds, it's just reminding you to believe in yourself, because like you'll never get where you want to go if you don't try, but you can get where you want to go if you fight like hell every day.
Absolutely.
So it's the only song that like has a message like that.
Yeah, I definitely did pick up on that. And
Yeah.
to add what you said about putting it in the middle would be such a vibe shift. I
Hmm.
mean, you really gotta, if you're going to go that far down with a vibe shift, you really gotta like pull somebody back up.
Yeah.
And honestly, that can be sometimes extremely hard to do. There are some records where you're like, this record is so great, but it pulls you down halfway through, and you're like, okay, if this had been at
Yeah.
the end, this would have fit better, and maybe I wouldn't be struggling with the latter half of the record.
And that's the thing, is the song is not a skip, but
No, it's
in the
beautiful.
wrong spot, it's getting skipped.
Oh yeah.
And even like Still Love going in to get your ass beat, like that's kind of a stretch almost. That's kind of
Yeah.
a risk, but I think it's a risk that's cool because, you know, you're this really like pop influenced banger with no screaming, that's all kind of lighthearted fun, goes directly into this song about like literally like vanquishing your foes.
Yeah. I mean, it's about beating ass.
Exactly, literally. So
I'm sure it's on an ass beater playlist somewhere.
quite a few.
Yeah. I know
I
it's
don't
definitely
often
on my
read the
gym
names.
playlist.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't often read the names of the playlists we get added to, but some of them are pretty funny.
Give me a couple if you remember them.
I don't know if I remember anything off the top of my head currently, but like it'll be like, like songs to like yell at mom to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, just stupid
Great.
shit like that.
Hey, and those playlists tend to be like the ones that get like thousands of listens every
Right.
day. And you're
Yeah.
like some
Songs to
random
punch drywall to.
exact. It's just something somebody puts together and it leaves public and then people are just looking and they're like, "Oh, this is interesting."
Right.
Like I don't know how many times I've seen something that's just like completely off the wall, like burnt toast, and then it's got like some good bangers on it, and you're like, yeah, I could see why this is called burnt toast.
Right.
Okay, I like it. Well, I do have another interesting question about
Okay.
naming. Were there any interesting demo names before they got their official names? Because I always love to hear like I always name my demos really weird things.
Yeah.
So I like to hear if you had any interesting demo names for any of the songs on the new record.
Pain and Peace was Pain and Piss.
That's beautiful. It should have stayed
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. Um, Get Your Ass Beat was always Get Your Ass Beat.
It's
Black
fitting.
Mirror was just a lyric from the song that didn't even make the final cut. Um, Still Love was always Still Love. Can't Forget was always Can't Forget.
Yeah.
Higher was always Higher. Yeah, no. There we kind of just name the songs.
Yeah. Like
We used
sometimes
to
I have
do
some really weird ones.
we used to do insane names back in the day.
Yeah.
Um so like Waking Misery was once like Slammer, and then
That's
like um Chasing Apparitions was Baja Blast.
that's beautiful.
Secrets We Keep was Tom Cruise.
I can kind of see that.
Trying to think of what else.
I
Yeah,
had
there were always some weird ones.
yeah, there was one that I it was for the longest time called Burning Red
Uh-huh.
because I was bored and so I went on YouTube and looked up how to make a song like and just waited to see what would show up and it was August Burns Red. And so I
Okay.
followed this guy's ridiculous funny tutorial to see what would come up and so Burning Red was the name of it.
Nice.
And then I had one called Kingdom Hearted because I was playing Kingdom Hearts that day. Purely no like thought went into that at all.
Sorry, I think I cut out for a second.
No, you're good.
You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, cool. Okay,
You were
cool.
gone for like
My audio on my end.
yeah, you're good now.
My audio cut out for a second.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, cool,
yeah.
cool.
Well, I have a next question that I think you'll find interesting.
Okay.
It's a classic question, but I'm gonna throw a little twist in there for you. I want
Okay.
I want five influences, but only three of them can be musical. Two of them have to be non-musical.
That's not even that hard. Okay, so
I figured it wouldn't be hard for you.
musical, yeah. Musical, like it could be literally like any of the top bands, but anything from Spirit Box to Architects to Bring Me. I won't count these in my five, but like you could keep going with Bad Omens, other bands, things like that. But
Yeah.
non-musical influences, one of my biggest ones is Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Yeah, there are Lord of the Rings lines in multiple sections, especially across Sabretooth. Um, and just generally the amount of like love and light and inspiration and the hero's journey and all of the elements and the things that make Lord of the Rings so, so, so phenomenal and spectacular and special. have inspired me throughout my entire life. And so, yeah, that's like probably one of my biggest inspirations outside of music. And then, two of eight. One more good one.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things, but I want to give like a very thoughtful answer.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Lord of the Rings was really good.
Yeah, and then honestly, probably like Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Ooh.
especially like Zuko's story arc. Um, it kind of like ties in with a lot of themes from our last record as well, um, where he has like this entire like villain arc where he like in his own right becomes one of the heroes and like unlearns all of the wrong. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I love that show.
Um, yeah. Okay. Cool. But yeah, so basically going through all of that bad, including being bad, and then learning that you can still be good after all of that
Yeah.
is like such a beautiful arc. And there's so many other characters and stories and things that are like influential and beautiful as well. But like the Zuko arc is like unmatched to me,
Yeah, honestly, he's probably the best written character in that show until you
hands
read
down.
the comics. Until you read the
Yeah,
comics, then it changes. You're like, who wrote
fair
this?
enough.
Now, since you brought them both up, I gotta ask, who are your favorite characters from both? I want to hear your favorite character for Lord of the Rings and Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Lord of the Rings, in terms of like badassery, I think Legolas is like the coolest character. He's, you know, always like 1v30ing and like like the Mama Kill takedown, for
Yeah,
example, is just iconic. As a little kid, I was always fascinated with like archery and horseback riding, and so
yeah,
for him to just be like insanely skilled with the bow and on horseback, I always thought he was just like the coolest guy. In terms of like being an adult and like digging deeper into the lore, into the story, into the meaning behind everything, um, you really cannot go wrong with like Aragorn, for example. Um, so yeah, Legolas, Aragorn, um, Sam, and actually Sam. One of Sam's quotes is literally my Instagram bio. Like there's some good in this fight. There's still some good in this world, Mister Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. You know,
yeah.
I think that's just like the most beautiful thing. It's so inspirational. Um,
Frodo was always my favorite. I gotta,
yeah,
but that's partly because Elijah Wood is just such a great actor
yeah.
that I
Elijah
like
Wood's
seeing him in
incredible.
anything he's in. But you know, besides him being the main character, uh, I feel like he's the most interesting character in the book too. He's the one
Yeah,
that kept me going through the first part of the three parts of the book.
yeah. That's fair. My thing is like all of that is like that's why I love Sam so much because like Sam like accompanies him through all of that because like Frodo did it, he could not have done it without Sam, you know.
Oh, 1000%.
And then obviously Gandalf, every time he speaks, it's like beautiful and like you know thought and heart provoking, and so yeah, it's just it is just like some of the best storytelling, world building, and character arc journeys like that have ever been created, and the benchmark for everything and why everything, you know, like so much exists now because of it. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I will say out of the two books, The Hobbit is my favorite as
Yeah,
opposed to The Lord of the Rings. I think it's a little more digestible because The Lord of the Rings hits you at the beginning of the book, anyways. It doesn't really do it in the movie. Well, a little bit in the extended edition, but it hits you with so much exposition that whenever I go to read it, I go, okay, when are we getting to the fun part?
no, I completely agree. The movies are the best telling of the story, and it's Tolkien's story, his writing, his dialogue is phenomenal. But you are right. There is so much extra until you get to it, that just make it a little bit less palatable and digestible. But it does set the scene and create incredible worlds and incredible places and all that kind of stuff. So like nothing to complain about there.
No.
Just but yeah. Like in terms of reading, The Hobbit is the better of the books, I think, as
Yeah.
well. But as far as movies go, Lord of the Rings, like movies, is that's like the greatest piece of media ever created by human beings, in my opinion.
1000%.
So
And despite what people think, I think The Hunt for Golem's going to be pretty good, or it's going to be so ridiculous that you're going to be like, it's so bad, it's good, or so ridiculous.
yeah, I'm gonna go see it either way. So
Yeah. I mean, almost all the actors are back except for Aragorn,
right,
so I can't complain.
yeah.
And Avatar: The Last Airbender, your favorite character. I already know 1000%. My favorite character has always been Suki
Dude,
when she shows up.
where is it? How do I show you? Yeah, I have a tattoo of Suki on my forearm.
You're gonna have to take a picture of it.
Here, let me see if I can like reorient my arm.
Oh yeah, there it is. That's awesome. I
Yeah.
love it.
So Suki's one of my favorite characters. Zuko, Sokka, I love them as well. Um, I love
Sokka's like,
Katara.
I'm fighting magic with a
Yeah.
boomerang and winning.
I like want to be like Zuko when he's turned good. I think
Yeah,
I'm like Sokka in a way,
yeah,
which is like kind of like he's the comedic, but he comes in and like he shows. I think the beautiful thing about Sokka is he wants to be like the greatest hero and really doesn't have anything to show for it. He's not a bender, but he ends up being like still like the glue that holds everyone together and like one of the most important characters, and he learns a valuable skill that enables him to help save the day, like the sword fighting and stuff. So
yeah.
um
Meteorite
yeah,
sword is the sickest thing ever.
yeah, no, he's one of the coolest characters. But he's kind of like a little oaf at the beginning.
Yeah, he's a little less comedic in the second half of the series than he is in the
Hmm.
first half, but I think that's because he
That makes
starts
it
to split,
better.
dude. Yeah, he starts to split like the
Yeah,
comedic duties with Toph a little bit.
yeah. I think Toph is annoying as hell, but
I
also a
respect
really
that.
important character. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, without her, he wouldn't learn the earth bending and all that stuff. So,
exactly. No, 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 very important. And like, I wouldn't like get rid of her, but like, I see myself if I were there, we'd be arguing all the time. You know what I mean?
like her and Sokka.
Exact, literally, literally. So yeah, no. I also love, honestly, like that whole show. I had a crush on every single female character except Toph.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Especially like the meaner they were, like Azula and like May and all of them, like
Honestly, May is an
Suki,
underrated character,
very underrated.
and they totally misuse her. I've been seeing parts of the comic where Zuko's like, "Oh yeah, this is May's boyfriend," and I'm like, "What? This is stupid. You're putting him in the cuck chair. Quit that."
Yeah, interesting.
But we got a new movie coming out, so I'm excited to see it when it comes out.
I
Hopefully,
actually already watched it. Someone sent me a Dropbox link, and
oh, okay.
it worked, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'm excited to watch it.
yeah, it's really good.
Who's the best character in it? Who shines the best in it, if you will?
Hmm. It's really Aang centered.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Um, yeah, like honestly, Toph is really funny in it.
Okay. Has she changed your opinion of her with that one movie?
She's matured a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'm
no, it was
interested to
interesting.
see. Uh, I'm especially interested to see how they do Toph in the live action
Yeah.
because I thought the first season was okay.
I actually never watched it. Never got around to it.
It it does a great job of skipping over some like ridiculous filler stuff
Sure.
while simultaneously there's only so much you can do in a live action setting with
Sure.
something that's as physically animated as some of the characters' faces and the
Sure.
airbending can be. I mean, with how fast some of the fights go, you kind of do have to slow it down for a live action adaptation.
Sure.
And honestly, I don't remember the second half of the series.
Fair enough.
I remember the first couple episodes, and then I think I was only half watching it for the second half. But I tend to do that with a lot of shows now. I go, I don't even remember how the second half went.
We got sidetracked. I wanted to say it before I forgot.
Yeah.
And then my absolute favorite character is Uncle Iroh.
Yes.
And
1000%.
every little bit of wisdom that in the same way that like Sam couldn't have done it or Frodo couldn't have done it without Sam, like Zuko couldn't have done it without Iroh. And so the
Oh,
whole time, like Zuko's wilding, like Uncle Iroh's there helping him, fighting alongside him, making tea, joking, laughing, knowing
grounding.
full well the full time, like this is not the path for you, but I'm here to guide you as you find your path. And then as he kind of starts unpacking everything, Iroh is like his mentor, like helping him come back to the good,
Yeah.
who he really is and not who his father is. It's
This
beautiful.
talk made me want to go back and rewatch. I'm gonna go rewatch the series this week.
Yeah. No, I mean, I might honestly do the same thing.
Dude, it's the writing is really well done, and I feel like we miss out on some of the writing that used to be in those older shows. Maybe it's slightly the nostalgia based,
Right.
but there's just something that doesn't retain my attention as long with this newer age of writing, I guess. I guess it's too fast paced.
Sure.
Like I felt, and this is a controversial opinion to all the K-pop Demon Hunter lovers, but I watched that movie and I was like, the it's going here to here to here to here to here, and I'm like, where's the time to really get to know these characters? Where's the time to ruminate on these songs that are actually halfway decent? Like we're we're
Right.
we're halfway done with the movie already, and I got lost.
Right.
Well, now it's time for one of my favorite questions to ask. That is sort of music related, and that is your guilty pleasures of music. Now, don't think of it as music you're embarrassed to let people know you listen to. More of
No.
stuff that people wouldn't expect you to listen to. They'd be like, "Oh, I didn't know
Everything.
you listen to that."
Yeah. No. Almost everything I listen to is what people like wouldn't expect the front man of like a metalcore band to like. Like I love girly pop. I love Sabrina Carpenter. I love Ariana Grande.
Mhm.
Um, Dua Lipa, Chapel Roan, like that is like what I listen to majority of the time, especially when I'm driving. Like I don't want to just fucking get blasted by like breakdowns and blast beats and screaming all day. That shit like is so headache inducing so quickly.
Yeah,
Um, it's just maximum overhead, loud. I'm like I don't want to do that.
yeah,
I love girly pop. I love like pretty girls singing pretty melodies. You know what I
yep,
mean?
yep,
That's what I listen to like 99% of the time. And that's not like you said, not I don't feel guilt doing that, but it
no,
would be my guilty pleasure in the sense that like nobody really would guess that like that's what I like.
yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I was looking for
Yeah.
because we love our metal music. We always will.
Yeah.
But
It's my favorite genre of music.
time and place for everything.
Yeah.
And I can't listen to Rings of Saturn and try to park.
No.
I'm
I
like,
can't even listen
it's
to
too
Rings of
much.
Saturn anymore. That's like too much for me.
Yeah, it's respect where respect is due. Great
For sure.
musicians, but it's so much going on. I feel like I'm trying to focus and I can't focus because there's so much going on. It's a sit
Yeah.
down and listen to it and not do anything else because if I do, everything is just going to be half-assed.
No, 100%.
There was a uh I stole that Rings of Saturn while parking joke from the Dickie Dine show.
Oh, cool.
Because he's like, I can't listen to this song in park. He's like, it's too much.
Yeah. And there's just a certain level of like, I need to like disconnect from like any external things while I'm driving and just like focus on what I'm doing.
Yeah,
And yeah, I can't be doing like math, listening to breakdowns, trying to like, drive. I got to focus on the driving.
absolutely. I mean, that's why I've honestly, unless I'm listening to music in preparation for the podcast, like I try to listen to a whole band, the whole discography of a person that comes on the podcast,
Sure.
which is a very daunting thing to do. I've listened to a lot of songs and deep cuts that most people wouldn't listen to, which is
Right. Well, I know
fun.
you had Nick Rossi on here, so listening to like every single Boo record probably took a long time.
Oh, it is that was a daunting task. I had Lauren Babick on here, and she's
Okay.
got like almost 400 songs that she
God.
has credits in where she's singing or something like that. And I got about halfway through and I'm like, I give up. I'm done.
Yeah,
I
you
can't.
can't do that.
I'm like, she's a great vocalist and I love listening to her sing, but there's so many songs that I'm like,
Can't do
there's got
that.
to be a more digestible way to do this because she was in
Yeah.
Crazy 88 and then that like only online project that I can't remember the name of. And then
Hmm.
Red Handed Denial, so I had to listen to all that too. And then her solo stuff. She did stuff with Bill Murray and with
Okay.
video games like League of Legends. I'm like, I'm so lost.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was that extensive.
Oh yeah, I get some pretty interesting like I did Testament and that was a lot too because I was like I've listened to half the records for sure already, but
Hmm.
I'm like, I got to go back and listen to all of them. It's
Right.
I love thrash music as much as the next guy. Not as much as I used to when I was a kid. I was like, I love Metallica and Slayer, and now I'm like, yeah, I could go listen to something else. But it's just such an extensive catalog, especially God forbid I have like Mike Portnoy on here or John Petrucci, and I got to listen to all their stuff, and I'm like, I think I might pass away with the amount of music.
Yeah. No, literally, it's just too much.
Okay. Well, I've got some. This is a fun one. It's semi-rapid fire questions. So I say semi-rapid fire because we like to talk. That's what we're here
Hmm.
for. If it goes on for longer than a short little answer, that's perfectly fine with me. So, my first one for you is if you had to do a dream collaboration with someone that you haven't already done, who would it be? Besides Sabrina Carpenter, that would be sick.
Yeah, that'd be like okay, like that'd be insane and probably not a thing that would ever happen.
Yeah.
But like a collab that I always wanted to do that like I always thought like could happen would be like Courtney from Spirit Box probably.
Yeah, that would actually work perfectly.
We like the window to do it too, like when we were on the same label and both bands were like pretty small, like
Yeah.
was the time to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Now like they're too stratosphere and like it just probably wouldn't be possible. But um unless we also got huge.
Yeah. At
Even still
Courtney.
she's doing collabs with like Meg the Stallion now.
Yeah. What is one of my favorite like that is a fun song. The rock remix of
Yeah, it's cool.
I have it on a gym playlist just because it's like and you gotta it keeps you
Yeah.
moving. Okay. Well, going a little bit further into other people's music for a second, what is a song that you wish you had written? Like, think to all the songs in the world, and you're like, if I had a writing credit on that, that'd be pretty cool. I always do "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins because it's got that such iconic drum part. I'm like, If I could say I had a hand in writing that iconic drum part, that'd be sick.
Beat It by Michael Jackson.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's like a pop song, but like the rhythm is like so heavy coded.
Yeah,
Bum 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 bum. Beat it, beat it, bum 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 bum
yeah,
bum bum. So sick, dude. And I just fucking love him.
yes. R.I.P. I wish he was still around making music because
Yep,
you
the
know it would
goat.
be even better than any of the music that's currently out.
100%.
I have a jam band that I teach twice a month, and we did "Let It Be" by the Beatles, "Zombie" by the Cranberries, and "Billie Jean" by Michael Jackson.
Also a banger.
And I won't lie, it's kind of fun to mess around with the drums a little bit because none of the people play drums, so I have to play drums for it.
Right.
And while the drums is very simple, just you can play around with it a little bit and still be within the realm of that
Right.
very straight, almost disco beat.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, but his drummer was so sick too.
He is one of my podcast, like I want him as a podcast guest because I think it would be
I wouldn't
so
blame
fun.
you.
I want to ask him why he has the symbols behind his head. Why?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Whenever I see him on Instagram going, I'm like, I have to sit there and watch it.
Yeah,
It's like
same.
the one meme that I always sit there and watch when they go. He goes, "Do you know who I am?" And they go, "No." He said, "You about to? You about to be barbecued, son?" And starts roasting the guy. He said, "You look like a sophisticated thumb," and I
I
lose it every time.
don't think I've seen that.
I'll send it to you if I find it.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. Now, what is your weirdest place for inspiration in music? What's the weirdest place you've had inspiration for it? Or is what I should say.
No, what's weird? But like anything can inspire you. I mean, like
Yeah.
traveling and like reading a street sign to like, going to a museum and looking at a piece of art to listening to a song to reading a book to having a conversation with a friend to, taking a hot girl walk and like looking at the sky and feeling the sun and grass and there's like a billion things that can like inspire you and um any and everything does. So I don't even know like what the weirdest thing would be.
I will say, a couple weeks ago, I play for a church on Sundays, and they something went down for a minute, like the sound system or whatever, and I was like, back when I was younger, they used to call that a hallelujah breakdown, and I was like, breakdown, like dun dun breakdown, that would be sick. Like it's been done before, but like
Yeah.
the like church choir with a breakdown. I'm like, I need to make a song like that. That'd be so much fun. Just
Yeah, that would be fire.
and then I was listening to a podcast, and Jay from Guilt Trip went, "You gotta appreciate the crumpet before you enjoy the toppings." And I was like, I feel like there's something there that I could use.
Sure.
I don't eat crumpet, so I'm not
No,
really sure on that, but
not well versed either, but he's
I
onto
do have
something.
some friends. I might ask them for some input on crumpet eating.
Sure.
Well, my next fun short question is, what is a song that didn't make the cut on the record? Is there a song that didn't make the cut on the record?
No,
I
it
know you
would have been
mentioned a
higher.
line.
Huh?
I know you mentioned a line, but I don't think you mentioned a song.
Yeah, like higher, we wrote the hook like in the last hour of the last day of our studio time.
Yeah.
And then we just had to go home and like finish it. So like that's the closest we got was like we had to finish one on our own and then like demo back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
So it kind of just almost didn't make it out, but not because we didn't want it to. Just like it just timing wise almost didn't work.
Yeah. See, I always
But
wonder about that because sometimes people are like, "Yeah, we dropped 3 songs from being on the record," and I'm like, "That's a lot of work that you just
yeah.
left on the cutting room floor." Which
Now
no shade
there's
to that. If
we've
it don't
written
work,
songs that yeah, we've written songs that never came out, but like way, way, way in the past. And they were honestly cool songs. I don't know why we never finished them, but it's too late now.
yeah, I mean, you might be like, "Oh, you remember that riff from a verse in that song that we never put out? Let's put it here in this song." So
Mhm.
you always find inspiration. If it didn't come out as a song, I'm sure it'll come out in like a small way.
Right.
Now, ooh, I like this one. Do you have any pre or post show rituals or things that you do?
Just a lot of like vocal warm ups, hydration, pacing, scales, facial exercises, things like that. And then we always try to like go in on something together before the set, put our hands in. And then after show, we always like try to like before bed, everyone goes around and like calls out something positive from the day that someone did. So like for example, like, hey, thank you for, you know, not losing your cool when XYZ and the rig wasn't working and figuring it out, calmly, which helped us all, get through the day with ease,
I
things like
love
that.
Hey, you know what? That we need more of that positivity.
Yeah.
Not just in like in music, but in general. Just be like, what's something good that happened today?
Because there's a million bad things. Let's highlight and call out and celebrate the good and like
Absolutely.
give that good feedback to your peers because if it goes unsaid, it might go unappreciated.
Yeah. Now, what is a song from your discography? So you got to think through your entire discography for this that a listener should listen to first.
Ember.
You read my mind.
Yeah.
It's like a good combination of everything that you guys do.
If they're only ever gonna listen to one song, I'd want it to be Ember.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, if they were to listen to a second song, what would it be?
Probably like Pain and Peace or Can't Forget.
Yeah, those are good.
And then maybe Black Mirror.
Yeah. Excuse me. Wow.
And then maybe
Well,
Still Love.
you love all your stuff, I'm sure,
Oh
in
yeah.
different ways, just some more than others.
Yeah, and like obviously if their first listen was like Self Control, that's cool too.
Yeah.
I think like the only ones that would paint like that are good songs but might like paint the wrong perception of the band would be like Get Your Ass Beat or like Higher, where it's just like both opposite ends of our spectrum.
Yeah. It doesn't
Still
really
us.
encompass everything that you guys do.
It doesn't really show who we are. It just shows like two different parts of who we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas the other songs show everything.
Yeah.
The dynamics are all there. It's the roller coaster. It's structured. It goes up and down.
You guys do really well with dynamics, I might add.
Thank you.
Now, what is a fan moment that has stuck with you? Whether it's something that was like really emotional or really funny, or if you have one for both.
I think what sticks with me with like fan interactions, like more than anything else, is just like when they really resonate to a song and they've digested the lyrics and they know what the song is about and it like speaks to them or touches them in some way. It's not even always necessarily that it does it in the way that like I wrote it for myself. Um, but really just anytime anyone resonates with the lyrics, resonates with the message, with the song, with everything, it's really heartwarming and really touching because it's like, I wrote these songs to cathartically deal with like my emotions and my view of the world around me and all that kind of stuff, and not necessarily with anyone else in mind, knowing that like someone could resonate and attach to it. Yeah, kind of vague, but
No, that's perfect though.
yeah,
It really encapsulates the question.
Yeah.
Now, this is going to get really specific, kind of. What is
Okay.
the most misinterpreted or like misheard lyric? Like when people say, "Oh, this lyric here," and you're like, "That's not even close to the same word."
Literally any time I show my girlfriend like a demo or a song drops or whatever, she's butchering like just about every single word of it to the point where I'm like I become unsure of what I even wrote.
That's beautiful.
Um it's really funny. So she's always like singing the melodies to me, not the lyrics, but the melodies,
Yeah.
because the lyrics could be what the fuck ever. Always wrong, always misheard, always misinterpreted, always missaid. It's very funny. But
Any
one
specific one?
line, literally any of like our top songs on Spotify, she's always singing at me wrong.
I
Any of
love
them. Ember, Still Love, Self Control, always singing it at me, always wrong. Very funny. But in Death Wish, I'm gonna turn my car back on. I'm kind of hot right now.
No, go
One
ahead,
sec.
man. You sweating a little bit.
I'm sweating. In Death Wish, there's a line that the meaning of was kind of always misinterpreted, but like I say, I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of a life lived without regret. And people think that like, oh, he's saying that like, you know, like, like, shouldn't you have regrets? And it's not necessarily like me saying that like, oh, I
Regret.
never want to have a regret or like they misinterpret it, but basically like what I'm trying to say is that like I don't want to live a life that's so self-centered and so focused on me and my reality that like I forget that there are other people and other circumstances. And so it's not about like the regrets aren't just like, oh, I regret not taking that job or I regret, not sending that text. It's like bigger picture talking about like, I don't want to live for me selfishly only. I want to be a person who cared about others, who had compassion. So like people always misunderstood that what that lyric was for. But I think it drove conversation and like it served its purpose in that way. In that people were like, why would you say that? But
Yeah,
then they would ask and then they would understand deeper.
it's a conversation starter for sure.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be honest. If you asked me half your lyrics, I'd probably get them wrong too.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's a lot in there, and so
I only
yeah,
know one song, like in my head all the way through the fire and the flames by Dragon Force. All the lyrics, all the solo parts. It's in my head. I'll never remember any song as well as I remember that song.
that's funny.
I blame Guitar Hero 3 1000%.
Yeah, that's the best one.
Oh yeah.
Best soundtrack, best everything.
They're the guys who did 1 and 2 Red Octane are coming out with a new game this year.
Fuck yeah.
I think it's called Stage Hero. It's like
Okay.
a return to form. It looks pretty. It's very stylized like the first two. Comes out in the
Nice.
fall. So if I
Really
manage
excited
to
for that
get
then.
it and you come through, I'll make a little setup and we
For
can play.
sure. For sure. I used to be really good at that, but not as much anymore. I don't play.
I wish I had like a guitar thing because I know people don't like Fortnite, but Fortnite's got that like Guitar Hero thing now, and I'm like, I kind of want to play Guitar Hero and scratch that
Yeah.
itch again. So I
No,
just
for
made
sure.
out a clone hero.
Sure.
My buddy's got like 1,500 songs, 15,000 songs on Clone Hero that he's always messing with, and I'm like, just send me the links. I'll get it all. Ooh, this is a good one. What is a fun or funny venue moment? I guess I should call it show moment, not necessarily venue moment, because you know, not all venues have like a specific moment, but the show itself might have a moment.
Um, We played Dallas the other night. Comes to mind, our hometown, and there were just two guys that were like absolutely fucking shit faced sloshed
Yeah.
right in the front row, going absolutely nuts, spilling beer everywhere, headbanging, going crazy. They kept touching my legs. And every time they did something that was like weird to me, I like made a funny face, and then everyone else around them who was like annoyed by their behavior kind of like laughed, and it just kind of became me and the crowd's inside jokes. Like, are these dudes good?
Yeah.
And then one of them inevitably actually got kicked out of the show later, which was funny. They were just being too much, but like not like rude or like hurting anybody or being creepy, just being annoying. So it
Yeah.
wasn't enough to like really do anything about at first until maybe later when they were moshing too hard or whatever. But when they were just like being too close to me in my space while I was on stage, like
Yeah.
I would just make a little funny face and like look at the people in the front row. They were all laughing. Like I don't know. It's like, what are these guys doing?
That's great.
Anyways, that's kind of like a recent funny moment that I can think of.
Hey, and you know those people that were at the front that were kind of in on that kind of joke will remember that for a very long time. They're like, you remember when those guys in Lost in Separation played and
Right.
two guys were being all sorts of annoying and he kept making those funny faces?
Yep.
Because I always remember a funny face when somebody makes a funny face on stage.
Yeah.
Or or like when you mess up a part and they go, "Oh, what? I messed up that part." And you're like,
Whenever my voice cracks or I mess up or I forget the lyrics, I always like do a little shrug and just go, a
"Yeah.
little whatever, just to indicate like, oh, whoops. Which you probably shouldn't do as you get bigger,
Yeah, people
because
appreciate it though." They're like, "You're human, so it feels a little more personal, I guess."
in the Bad Omens era where everyone expects and sees perfection, it's like if you're going to be singing your heart out, 10 out of 10 performance, messing up just proves to the world that it's real
Yeah.
in a world where everything sounds fake.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, Noah Sebastian is a robot.
Yeah.
So
And he is one of the best singers through and through. He
yeah.
is insanely talented, but he also has a lot of vocal processing
Yeah.
like tools at his disposal to help him sound better. But at the end of the day, you still couldn't achieve what he was doing if you weren't actually a talented and incredible singer. So, you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
absolutely. I mean, I remember I've brought this show up many times on the podcast. You remember when Under Oath was the headliner and Spirit
Yep.
Box and Bad Omens and Stray?
Yep.
That show would never happen again because
No.
Spirit Box and Bad Omens just got so extremely big that it's like they're on another level. Not that Under Oath
100%.
isn't big in their own right, but I feel like they're not as big as they used to be, and if they had
It would
continued riding
be
it, it would be higher.
it would be Bad Omens, Spirit Box, Under Oath, Stray.
Well, Stray ain't even together anymore, so Stray's definitely at
Right.
the
Right.
bottom.
Right.
Which RIP, one of my favorite bands that just
Yeah.
they were supposed to do a US tour and then they didn't. I was so mad.
Yeah.
Okay. So ooh, I do like this one. What's a music trend you just don't understand? Like a current music trend. Mine is 8-track cassettes. Quit trying to bring them back.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I would agree with that. I don't understand cassettes. I've seen them pop up here and there for the last like 10, 15 years. I've never understood who has a cassette player, who's keeping that business alive. It's cool, it's quirky, but at the end of the day, like, who's actually using that? I don't know.
It
I would
can't
agree with
sell
that.
well.
They
Like the
sell well at
overhead
merch
stuff.
tables. I know that much.
But how many do they bring with them is the real question.
I sold them for Fit for an Autopsy, I think. I think it was that tour. They had cassettes. And then I'm selling them for Kitty starting next week.
Okay.
So can report back on that. But people are buying them.
You know what? Maybe we're wrong about the whole cassette thing. Maybe it's something that we just don't understand yet. We'll
Yeah.
understand eventually, I'm sure. But if you go further to the 8-track cassettes where they're like this thick and this wide, I no. Ghost did it and they continue to do it every time they release new music. I'm like, quit that. 8-track cassettes are the
I think
pieces
it's just like
themselves are
you
100
reach a
bucks.
certain size and your fans just become collectors and it's just a thing to have. It's not a practical use item. CDs aren't even practical use anymore. Most people don't even have CD players. They just buy the physical or digital media to support the bands they care about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's the same thing with people in vinyl. They don't usually
Yeah.
have a vinyl player. But to be
If
fair,
they
they're
do
also
though, vinyl's
pretty.
peak.
Yeah. Vinyl's
Yeah.
pretty. So,
Yeah, vinyl's gorgeous. But
my
no, true. I have a
favorite.
few records. I don't listen to vinyl.
Yeah. I don't usually listen to vinyl. If I might listen to it once when I get it and then not listen to it afterwards and just
Right.
keep it nice and pretty. Like I listened to the Haste the Day 10th year Shadow record or whatever it's
Uh-huh.
called. Coward, that's what it's called.
Uh-huh.
And I listened to it once and I haven't put it back on the record player since.
Right, right.
But I had to get it because it was 10 years and I had never been able to get the original record. So I had to make do.
Yeah.
The original record's still like $700.
Jesus fuck.
Dude, some of these record resales when you get find like a first pressing or like a version like even just some first, second, third pressings when they were out and they just don't sell that record actively anymore. It's so expensive. It's almost scary how expensive they are because you're like,
Yeah.
who would spend this kind of money on something like that? But
Damn.
I mean, it's like Pokemon cards, except bigger.
Uh, Real quick, I kind of have an appointment I got to run to
Oh yeah,
soon.
we can wrap.
Do we have like, is there like a wrap up question or anything, or like?
Yeah, I got a couple wrap up questions, just simple ones.
Okay, cool, cool.
Well, we have reached the end of our podcast here, and I have just a few questions to end out our time. First off, is plugs and shout outs. Plug the band, plug yourself, shout out the people you want to shout out.
Yeah. Again, Milad from Lost in Separation here. We just dropped a new record, self-titled "Lost in Separation." There are some bangers on there. Some of my favorite songs we've ever done. I want to shout out our manager Bill. I want to shout out our awesome lawyer Alex. I want to shout out all the members of my band. We just got off tour, about 6 weeks on the road. We got a few months break. We'll be heading back out again in the fall. Maybe by the time you're watching this, listening, it'll be announced. Maybe not. Either way, it's gonna be a fucking banger. It's gonna rip.
You guys are gonna.
Shout out. Do what?
I said you guys are gonna love it.
Oh yeah, yeah. You guys are gonna love it. Shout out all of our friends, family, girlfriend. Um, there's a very strong support system in place, keeping us all motivated together. Shout out all of the fans for listening, for coming to the shows, for buying merch, helping us when the van broke down. It's been quite a year so far, and we are only just getting started.
That's right. Well, I only have one last question for you, my friend,
Sure.
and that is, what song of yours do you want to have as the outro track to the episode?
I think we've talked about it so much today. I think we just got to rip Ember, dude.
I think we do too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, my friend, for coming on. Can't
Yeah.
wait to see you in the fall and hang. It'll be fun. And
I can't wait either.
you guys know what to do. Follow Milad that way. Milad, follow the band, hit the buttons on the left, right, up, and down. You know where they are. I don't. Uh, and we'll see you guys real soon. Peace.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Do you get your fix when you follow my Ember home?
This has been Mullins Over Music, episode 95, with your host, producer, and editor, Austin Mullins. Special thanks to guest Milad Parsa of Lost in Separation. The closing track is the track that we talked about a lot on this episode, Ember by Lost in Separation. You can find Milad at Milad in Separation and Lost in Separation at Lost in Separation on the socials. Go stream their self-titled record on all streaming platforms and go pick up a physical copy if you feel like it. Thanks to Milad for being a cool dude and a great friend. Can't wait to hang with you soon, my dude. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can check out the Patreon at the link in the description for behind the scenes, early episodes, and extra content that I know you'll enjoy. Special thanks to viewers like you. Thank you, and until next time.
Our home struck